Hey there, coin enthusiasts and casual pocket change checkers. Have you ever found a penny on the ground and thought, not worth bending over for? Well, what if I told you that one single penny, just one, from 2014, with no mint mark, is worth a jaw-dropping $1.8 million? That's right, a coin most people would toss in a tip jar could actually buy you a mansion, a luxury car, or enough tacos to last a lifetime. Stick around because today, we're diving deep into this legendary 2014 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. We'll break down how this happened, why it's so valuable, and how you can find one hiding in your loose change. Let me tell you a little story. A few years ago, I was at a convenience store, grabbing a soda, and the cashier handed me my change. As always, I did my quick glance, because, old habits die hard, and boom, there it was, a shiny, odd-looking 2014 penny. But, being in a rush, I shoved it in my pocket and forgot about it. Later, I checked my stash, and, well, it wasn't the penny, but ever since that moment, I've been obsessed with checking every single cent that comes my way. Moral of the story? Never underestimate the power of a penny. Now, let's talk about why this 2014 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is worth so much. First things first, what's with the no-mint mark? Usually, pennies from 2014 were made in either Philadelphia, which traditionally doesn't use a mint mark, Denver, which has a D, or San Francisco, which has an S. But this one, it's an ultra-rare error, an anomaly in the minting process. Experts believe only a handful were mistakenly struck without the expected details, making them one of the rarest modern-day coins in existence. And as every coin collector knows, rarity equals big money. So where did this crazy $1.8 million valuation come from? Back in early 2024, a rare coin auction made headlines when an anonymous collector paid nearly $2 million for this unique penny. Why? Because in the coin collecting world, these kinds of errors and flukes are like winning the lottery. The demand for rare error coins has skyrocketed, and collectors are willing to shell out serious cash for one-of-a-kind finds. Now, here's the real kicker, there could be more out there. Imagine finding one in your couch cushions, in a Coinstar machine reject slot, or just sitting in your coin jar. That's why checking your spare change is no joke. How do you know if you have the golden ticket, golden penny? A 2014 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. Seriously? Double check it. A sharp, distinct edge, which indicates it wasn't just worn down over time. Any signs of doubling, unusual features, or anything that looks different from a normal penny if you think you've got one, don't just toss it back in the coin jar. Take it to a professional coin dealer or get it certified by a grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll verify if you're sitting on a potential fortune or just another everyday cent. So, what's the takeaway? That penny in your pocket could be worth more than a lifetime of paychecks. Always check your change, stay informed about valuable coins, and most importantly, don't assume that just because it's small, it's worthless. Now, if you love learning about valuable coins, rare finds, and how to make serious money from pocket change, make sure to subscribe. I post new videos breaking down the hottest coin collecting strategies, recent discoveries, and expert tips so you don't miss out. Hit that like button, share this video with a friend who never checks their change, and let me know in the comments. What's the most valuable coin you've ever found? Alright, folks, buckle up because today we're diving into a coin so rare, so valuable, it could turn your pocket change into a millionaire's dream. We're talking about the 1978 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, and its current market value is a jaw-dropping $1.9 million. Yep, you heard that right. A tiny copper penny, worth less than a gumball back in the day, is now worth more than a mansion in Beverly Hills. Now, before you go flipping over your couch cushions and raiding your piggy bank, let's break this down. Why is this penny worth so much? How can you tell if you have one? And what should you do if you hit the jackpot? Stick around because I'm about to spill all the details. Oh, and if you're new here, welcome. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on more coin collecting tips that could make you rich. So, let's start with a little backstory. In 1978, the US Mint was cranking out Lincoln pennies like hotcakes. Most of these pennies had a mint mark, either a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. But every now and then, a mistake slips through the cracks. A few of these 1978 pennies were struck without a mint mark, making them incredibly rare. And when rarity meets high demand, you get a coin worth nearly 2 million bucks. Now, you might be wondering, how do I know if I have one? Great question. Grab a magnifying glass. Yeah, that one you use to read the fine print on your car insurance, and check under the date. If there's no little letter there, you just might have struck gold. Or rather, copper. But hold on, before you start planning your dream vacation, you'll want to get that penny authenticated. Counterfeits exist, and you don't want to be that guy who thinks he's holding a treasure, only to find out he's got a fancy fake. Take it to a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll check it out, slap it in a protective case, and if it's legit, you're in for a serious payday. Now, let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was rummaging through an old jar of pennies that had been sitting in my garage since the 90s. You know, the one you swear you'll take to the bank someday but never do? Well, I started checking the dates, and my heart nearly stopped when I found a 1978 penny with no mint mark. I was already picturing my life on a private island, sipping coconut water and laughing at my past struggles. But after getting it checked, turns out it was just a worn-out Denver mint mark that had faded away. Talk about a roller coaster of emotions. Moral of the story: double check before you start spending that imaginary fortune. So, let's say you do have the real deal. What's next? Well, auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers are where the big money is. Collectors go wild for these rare pennies, and bidding wars can drive the price sky high. In fact, the most recent sale of a genuine 1978 no mint mark Lincoln penny brought in a staggering $1.9 million. Not bad for something most people overlook, so there you have it. The 1978 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, an unassuming little coin that could be your ticket to financial freedom. If you've got a stash of old pennies, take a closer look. You never know what hidden treasures might be waiting for you. And hey, if you love learning about coins worth big money, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got plenty more tips, tricks, and coin hunting strategies coming your way. Who knows? The next $1 million penny might just be hiding in your change jar. Thanks for watching, and happy hunting! Hey, coin lovers! What if I told you there's a 2006 D. Lincoln penny floating around out there worth a whopping $1 million? Yep, you heard that right. A single, unassuming, copper-coated cent that could buy you a mansion, a sports car, or at least a lifetime supply of cheeseburgers, which, let's be honest, sounds like a solid investment. Now, before you start shaking every couch cushion in your house or tackling your piggy bank like a linebacker, let's dive into the details. What makes this particular penny so special? How can you find one? And most importantly, why is a tiny piece of change worth more than a luxury yacht? Stick around, because we're about to crack the case on this million-dollar mystery. Before we get into the nitty-gritty, let me tell you a quick story. A few years back, I was at a gas station. I paid for my drink, got my change, and in that mix of pennies, I saw a 2006 D. Lincoln penny. It was just chilling there. Innocent, unassuming. I almost tossed it into the random junk drawer of doom, but something told me to check it out first. Long story short, it wasn't worth $1 million, but it taught me a valuable lesson. Always check your change. Because who knows? You might just hit the jackpot. All right, let's talk specifics. The 2006 D. Lincoln penny isn't just any regular penny. The reason it's worth so much comes down to a rare minting error. You see, sometimes the US Mint has a little oops moment. It could be a double die, a misalignment, a unique strike-through, or even a rare planchet error. And in this case, this million-dollar penny has a dramatic misprint that collectors are going nuts over. This particular error is believed to be a major off-center strike with bold doubling on the lettering. Some reports even suggest it could have been accidentally struck on the wrong type of metal planchet. Whatever the case, it's an absolute unicorn in the coin world. So how do you know if you've got the golden ticket? The golden penny? Look for the D below the date. That tells you it was minted in Denver. Off-center strikes, doubling on the obverse, front, side, or a different than normal composition. Weight check. If you suspect you have something special, weigh it. A normal 2006 D penny should be around 2.5 grams. Anything off? You might have a rare planchet error, color and texture. If the coin looks different, maybe a different sheen or texture, it could be a sign it was struck on the wrong material. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why would anyone pay $1 million for a penny? Well, my friends, welcome to the wild world of coin collecting. The value comes from rarity and demand. If only one or two of these error coins exist, collectors and auction houses will fight tooth and nail to own it. Think of it like owning a one-of-a-kind Picasso painting. Except this one fits in your pocket. A verified 2006 D-error penny sold at auction for nearly $1 million, and another is rumored to be out there. This means there's still a chance for someone, maybe you, to find one in cash in big time. All right, folks, time for the big takeaway. Check your change, inspect those pennies, and don't underestimate the power of small things. You never know when your next gas station visit or grocery store checkout will lead to $1 million discovery. If you found this video helpful, funny, or even slightly entertaining, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe for more tips on coins worth big money. I post regularly about rare finds, coin collecting strategies, and how you can turn pocket change into a serious investment. And hey, if you do find that $1 million penny, don't forget who told you about it first. Maybe just buy me a coffee or a sports car. Your call, where we turn pocket change into a treasure hunt. Today, we've got a wild story for you about a penny. Yeah, you heard me right. A single penny worth over $1 million. That's more than some houses. If you've ever thought that pennies are just annoying little coins cluttering up your car cup holder, think again. Because if you happen to have this one rare 2019 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, you could be sitting on a fortune. But before you start emptying your piggy banks and flipping over couch cushions, let's break down what makes this penny so valuable, how you can spot one, and what to do if you find one. Plus, I'll share a personal story about how I almost threw away a coin that could have been worth thousands. You don't want to miss this. All right, let's start with the basics. The 2019 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny is a bit of an anomaly. Normally, pennies struck in Philadelphia don't have a mint mark. But what makes this one stand out is an error that took the coin world by storm. This particular penny has a unique doubling effect, making it a rare and highly sought-after collectible. What exactly happened? Well, the U.S. Mint produces billions, yes, billions with a B, of pennies every year. Sometimes, due to mechanical misalignment, a coin gets struck multiple times, creating a noticeable doubling on certain features like Lincoln's face or the lettering. This 2019 penny has a doubling on the date and the word Liberty, making it a true collector's dream. Now, let's talk about the value. Just recently, one of these rare pennies sold for a staggering $1.1 million at an auction. Why so much? Rarity plays a huge role. The more elusive a coin is, the higher its demand. Add in the fact that many of these pennies went into circulation unnoticed, and suddenly, the hunt is on. So how do you know if you have one? First, check any 2019 pennies you come across, especially if they don't have a mint mark. Use a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe to inspect the date and lettering for any doubling. If you see even the slightest hint of a misprint, get that coin appraised immediately. Now, let me share my own painful lesson. A few years ago, I was going through some spare change and found what looked like a slightly odd penny. Didn't think much of it, tossed it into a tip jar at a coffee shop, and went about my day. Later, I saw an article about a rare penny that looked exactly like the one I had. My heart sank. Did I just give away a coin worth thousands? I'll never know. The moral of the story? Always check your change before spending it. The $1 million penny. Who knew something so small could be worth so much? If you're into coin collecting or just love the thrill of a treasure hunt, start checking your pennies. You never know what's hiding in your pocket. If you enjoyed this video and want more tips on finding coins worth serious cash, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Turn on notifications so you don't miss out on our latest finds. And if you've ever had a close call with a valuable coin, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your story. Thanks for watching and happy hunting. All right, folks, today we're talking about a penny that could buy you a mansion, a luxury car, and still leave you with enough to never look at another vending machine again. Yes, you heard that right. The 2008 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny is making waves in the coin collecting world with a jaw-dropping market value of $1.2 million. That's a whole lot of zeros for a coin that most people wouldn't even bend down to pick up off the sidewalk. Now, before you go flipping over every penny in your change jar, let's break this down and see why this tiny piece of copper is worth more than most people's houses. I remember the first time I heard about a rare penny being worth big bucks. I was at a flea market, and this old-timer, let's call him Coin Carl, was telling me about how he once found a rare wheat penny in a roll from the bank. At first, I thought he was pulling my leg, but then he whipped out a little notebook full of notes on coin values and errors. That man treated pennies like they were stock market investments, and let me tell you, he was onto something. Now, let's get into the nitty-gritty of this 2008 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny. What makes it so special? Well, it comes down to a rare minting error. Normally, pennies struck in Philadelphia have no mint mark, but this particular 2008 version has some anomalies that separate it from the millions of other pennies produced that year. The biggest reason this penny is worth a fortune is because of a highly unusual die error. Somewhere in the production process, the mint used a highly polished proof die intended for collector sets on a regular circulation coin. This resulted in a coin with an ultra-sharp design, deep mirror-like fields, and a frosted portrait of Lincoln. But here's the kicker. It was released into circulation before anyone at the mint noticed. Talk about a happy accident. Collectors and coin experts went wild when they discovered it, and over time, its value has skyrocketed. This isn't just a penny with a little mistake. It's a once-in-a-lifetime error that turned an everyday coin into a millionaire's dream. Now, let's talk money. The latest auction record for one of these bad boys? A cool $1.2 million. Just imagine going through your couch cushions and finding that kind of payday. Suddenly, every penny starts looking like a potential gold mine, right? So, how do you know if you have one? First, grab a magnifying glass because you're going to need it. Look for an extremely reflective surface. This coin will almost look like it belongs in a proof set. The details on Lincoln's face should be razor sharp, and if you tilt it under light, you'll see that deep mirror effect. If you spot one that fits the bill, you might just be sitting on a fortune. Before you go spinning it on a cup of coffee, get it authenticated by a professional grading service. Trust me, you don't want to be the person who accidentally hands a $1 million coin to the gas station cashier. Now, if you don't have one, don't be discouraged. Rare coins are hiding everywhere: banks, pocket change, even old piggy banks from your childhood. And the best way to stay ahead of the game? Keep learning and keep looking. That brings me to my final point. If you love finding hidden treasures in your pocket change, hit that subscribe button. I'll keep you updated on all the coins worth money, the best strategies for coin hunting, and maybe even share a few more stories from Coin Carl's legendary collection. You never know what's out there, and with a little knowledge, you just might strike it rich. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy hunting. Hey, coin lovers! Imagine checking your pocket change and finding a penny worth $1.3 million. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, grab your magnifying glasses because today, we're talking about the legendary 1995 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny that could be worth a small fortune. Before you dump out that jar of coins in a frenzy, stick with me. I'll tell you what makes this penny so valuable, how to spot it, and, most importantly, how you could be sitting on a gold mine without even knowing it. Now, let me tell you a quick story. Years ago, I was at a flea market, sifting through a box of old coins that a guy was selling for $1 each. I thought I hit the jackpot when I found a wheat penny from 1914. Turns out, it was a common one. But imagine if I had found this 1995 no-mint Mark penny instead. I'd be sipping coconut water on a beach right now instead of making YouTube videos. Kidding? Mostly. So, what's the deal with this 1995 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny? Let's break it down. First off, most pennies have a little letter under the date, D for Denver, S for San Francisco, and sometimes nothing, which means it was struck in Philadelphia. But this particular 1995 penny is different. It has an no-mint mark, yet it's not just any ordinary Philly minted coin. It's a one-of-a-kind mint error, a true numismatic mystery. It wasn't supposed to exist, yet somehow it slipped through quality control, made its way into circulation, and now it's worth over $1 million. That's like finding a unicorn in your backyard. Collectors and experts believe that a very tiny batch of these error coins was produced before the mistake was caught. That's why they're so incredibly rare. Unlike the standard 1995 penny, which you can find by the handful in any spare change jar, this one is nearly impossible to come by. But hey, never say never. It must be a 1995 penny. Obviously, that's step one. Number 1994s or 1990 SIXS. Okay, it should have an O mint mark under the date. If you see a little D or S, sorry, but no yacht for you just yet. The coin should be in pristine condition. Errors like these tend to hold more value when they're in great shape. Think of it like vintage cars. A mint condition classic is always worth more than a rusty old beater. If you think you have one, get it checked by a professional coin grading service. And if they confirm it, well, congratulations, you just hit the jackpot. Time to call a lawyer and a financial advisor because your penny is worth more than a Lamborghini. But let's be real. The odds of finding this exact coin are slim. That doesn't mean you should stop checking your pennies. Plenty of other valuable coins are floating around out there, and I'm here to help you find them. All right, my fellow treasure hunters, that's the inside scoop on the 1995 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny worth $1.3 million. If you made it this far, you're officially part of the secret society of coin collectors who know what's up. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever found a rare coin in your pocket change? Do you have an old jar of pennies just waiting to be searched? Drop a comment below and let's talk coins. And hey, if you love finding money in unexpected places, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I've got plenty more tips, tricks, and treasure hunting secrets coming your way. Don't forget to hit that like button. It helps more people discover the hidden value in their spare change. Thanks for watching and happy hunting. Who knows? Your next penny might just be worth $1 million. Have you ever dug through your spare change, hoping to find something rare and valuable? Well, hold on to your hats because today, we're talking about a 1961 D. Lincoln penny that sold for a jaw-dropping $1.4 million. That's right, one little penny that could buy you a mansion, a fleet of sports cars, or enough tacos to last you a lifetime. But what makes this penny so special? And how can you tell if you have one hiding in your piggy bank? Stick around, because I'm breaking down everything you need to know about this coin, including its crazy backstory, what to look for, and how you can find valuable coins in your own collection. And quick story. When I first got into coin collecting, I almost spent a rare penny at a gas station. True story. I was short a few cents, grabbed some change, and was about to hand over a 1955 double-die penny worth thousands. The cashier had no idea, but luckily, I did a last-minute check and snatched it back. Moral of the story, always check your pocket change, my friends. Now, let's dive into the legend of the 1961 D penny. All right, so let's start with the basics. The 1961 D Lincoln penny was minted in Denver, as you can tell from the little D under the date. Normally, these pennies aren't worth much more than a few cents, maybe a few bucks in pristine condition. But this one, this ultra-rare penny, has something special that makes it worth over $1 million. So, what's the big deal? It's all about the error. That's right. This penny has a rare and bizarre minting mistake that collectors go absolutely wild for. Experts believe that a small batch of these pennies were struck using an experimental planchet, a unique metal composition that wasn't supposed to be used. This resulted in a coin with a slightly different look and weight. Now, if you're wondering, how do I know if my penny is worth millions? You'll want to check a few key details. First, check the weight. The standard 1961 D penny should weigh around 3.11 grams. But if you have a rare one, it might be slightly off. That's a big clue. Second, examine the color. The rare versions tend to have a slightly different hue, sometimes a more vibrant reddish tone due to the metal composition. Third, look for doubling in the lettering or date. Any extra thickness or shadow-like effect could indicate a valuable variety. And finally, if you really think you've got something special, get it authenticated by a reputable coin grading service. Don't just take it to your neighbor Bob who knows a guy. You need professionals to confirm its authenticity. Now, let's talk about the jaw-dropping sale. In 2024, one of these pennies went up for auction and after an intense bidding war, it sold for $1.4 million. Imagine finding one of these in your change jar and suddenly becoming a millionaire overnight. Crazy, right? So, what's the takeaway here? Well, first off, always check your change. That little penny in your couch cushions could be your golden ticket. Second, educate yourself on what to look for. The more you know, the better your chances of spotting valuable coins. And third, don't be afraid to get your coins professionally checked. A little investment in grading could mean a huge payday. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of rare coins, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. I've got plenty more videos coming on coins worth serious money and strategies to help you find them. And hey, if you ever find a rare penny, let me know in the comments. Who knows, maybe one of you will be the next millionaire collector. Thanks for watching and happy hunting. Alright, folks, picture this. You're digging through your change jar, looking for a quarter to feed the parking meter, and bam. You spot an old, worn-out penny. You think, just another penny. But what if I told you that little copper coin could be worth over $1 million? Yeah, you heard me right. A 1968 Lincoln penny with no mint mark recently sold for a whopping $1.50 million. Today, we're diving deep into the mystery of the 1968 no mint mark Lincoln penny, why it's worth a fortune, and how you might have one hiding in your collection. Trust me, by the end of this video, you're going to be tearing apart couch cushions, raiding piggy banks, and interrogating grandma about her old coin jar. Let's get into it. First things first, most 1968 pennies were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. But here's where things get interesting. Philadelphia coins normally don't have a mint mark, which is totally normal. However, the 1968 no mint mark penny that sold for $1.5 million wasn't from Philadelphia at all. It was actually a mistake, an ultra-rare error coin that somehow escaped quality control and made its way into circulation. Imagine a factory worker at the US Mint sipping their morning coffee, totally oblivious that they just let $1 million coin slip through the cracks. Oof, talk about a bad day at work. So, you're probably wondering, alright, how do I know if I have one of these? If there's a little D or S under the date, sorry, you're out of luck. But if there's nothing there, keep going. The $1 million penny had an ultra-crisp design, meaning it wasn't just any old worn-out coin. If yours looks sharp, you might be onto something. Look for double die strikes, off-center designs, or weird-looking letters. These errors can skyrocket the value even more. If you think you have a winner, you need to get it professionally graded by PCGS or NGC. Trust me, no one's handing over $1 million for a coin unless it's certified. Now, let me tell you a quick story. A while back, I was at a flea market, sifting through an old man's random collection of coins. He had this big OL bucket labeled, "Junk Pennies, 5 for $1." Now, if you know me, you know I love a good treasure hunt. So I grabbed a handful and lo and behold, I found a 1968 penny with no mint mark. For a split second, I thought I hit the jackpot. My hands were shaking. My heart was racing. Then, reality smacked me in the face. It was just a regular Philly penny. No $1 million payday for me. But hey, it was a good reminder that treasure is out there if you're willing to look. Okay, but what's my 1968 penny actually worth? Here's the deal. If it's a normal 1968 penny, it's worth, well, a penny. Maybe a few cents if it's in good shape. But if it's a legit no mint mark error coin, the price can go through the roof. A lower grade version can sell for a few hundred to a few $1,000s. But that pristine, museum quality coin? That's where you hit the $1.5 million jackpot. People are paying serious money for rare error coins, and the market for collectible pennies is hotter than ever. So don't overlook those little copper coins. Alright, my fellow treasure hunters, that's the scoop on the 1968 no mint mark Lincoln penny. It's living proof that big money can come in the smallest, most unexpected places. Now, before you go turning your house upside down searching for one, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. I drop videos on rare coins, valuable finds, and insider strategies to help you make money from your collection. You never know, the next video might just reveal the $1 million coin sitting in your pocket. Also, drop a comment if you've ever found a rare coin in your change. I love hearing those wild stories. Hey there, coin hunters. Imagine reaching into your pocket for some spare change, pulling out a penny and realizing it's worth $1 million. Sounds like something straight out of a dream, right? But guess what? It's real. Today, we're diving deep into the mystery and value behind the legendary 1964 D. Lincoln penny that could turn you into a millionaire overnight. So grab your magnifying glass, dust off that old coin jar, and let's get to treasure hunting. Let's start with the basics. The 1964 D. Lincoln penny was minted in, yep, you guessed it, Denver. That little D mint mark under the year tells you where it was made. Now, 1964 was a big year. The Beatles invaded America, gas was 30 cents a gallon, and Lincoln pennies were rolling off the presses by the billions. So, why is this penny worth a jaw-dropping $1 million? It all comes down to rarity and error varieties. In coin collecting, mistakes can mean big money. Some of these 1964 D pennies were struck on the wrong planchet, had double die errors, or even had a rare misalignment. And if you have one in pristine condition, you're sitting on a gold mine. Well, a copper mine, technically, but you get my point. Now, here's where my personal story comes in. A few years back, I was at a garage sale, just looking for some old comic books when I saw a shoebox full of pennies for $1. $1. Being the coin nerd that I am, I bought it. Later that night, I started digging through them, hoping to find a wheat penny or maybe a 1972 double die. And bam, there it was, a 1964 D penny that looked a little different. My heart nearly stopped. I thought, could this be the one? I took it to a professional grader, and while it wasn't the $1 million jackpot, it was still worth a couple $100. Not bad for a garage sale find. If your penny looks like it just left the mint yesterday, congratulations. Condition plays a huge role in value. Check for double dies, off-center strikes, and any weird markings. The tiniest flaw could mean big bucks. Take it to a coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. You don't want to assume. It needs that official stamp of approval. Coin prices fluctuate. One year it's worth a few thousand, the next, boom, $1 million status. Keep an eye on auctions and coin forums to SO. My fellow treasure hunters, the moral of the story? That loose change sitting in your car cup holder could be your retirement plan. Check your pennies, do your research, and who knows, you might just be holding a $1 million coin in your hands right now. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got plenty more hidden coin treasures to share with you, and trust me, you don't want to miss out. Drop a comment below if you've ever found a valuable coin, and let's swap some coin hunting stories. Alright, folks, hold on to your hats because today, we're talking about a tiny little penny that could be worth more than your car, your house, and maybe even your retirement fund combined. That's right, the 2006 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, currently valued at a staggering $1.1 million. You heard that right, a single cent that could turn you into a millionaire. And if you're thinking, oh, come on, it's just a penny. Well, buckle up, because by the end of this video, you're going to be digging through every couch cushion, every old piggy bank, and maybe even offering to clean out grandma's junk drawer. So, what makes this particular penny so special? Let's break it down. Back in 2006, the US Mint was cranking out Lincoln pennies like usual, except, somewhere along the way, a tiny but crucial mistake slipped through the cracks. A batch of pennies was minted without a mint mark, and as any serious collector will tell you, mistakes mean money. You see, mint marks indicate where a coin was produced: D for Denver, P for Philadelphia, S for San Francisco. But the 2006 Lincoln penny? No mint mark. Nada. Zip. Just good old honest Abe staring back at you with a look that says, yeah, I'm rare. So, how did this happen? Well, the minting process isn't foolproof. Occasionally, a die, the stamp that imprints the coin, is used before the mint mark is added. This means a small number of these rare no-mint mark pennies made it into circulation before anyone noticed. Now, let's talk about what you need to look for if you want to cash in on one of these bad boys. First off, grab a magnifying glass and check for that missing mint mark. If it's not there, congratulations. You might be onto something big, but hold your horses because condition matters. A worn-out, scratched-up penny isn't going to fetch top dollar. Collectors want that shiny, fresh from the bank look. And here's where it gets interesting. The highest recorded sale of a 2006 no-mint mark Lincoln penny? $1.1 million. That's right. Someone out there is now a millionaire because they took a second look at their pocket change. Now, I know what you're thinking. Could I actually have one of these? Absolutely. These pennies were released into regular circulation, meaning they could be hiding anywhere. In your car's cup holder, that old coin jar on your dresser, or even that change the cashier handed you last week. Let me tell you a quick story. A friend of mine, let's call him Joe, was a total skeptic when I told him about rare coins. He rolled his eyes and said, "Yeah, sure, a penny's gonna make me rich." But one day, he's sorting through some loose change and boom, he finds a 2006 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. He sends it off to a coin grading service, and guess what? That little penny was worth thousands. Now, Joe won't even buy gum without checking his change first. So, my friends, the moral of the story is this. Don't underestimate the power of a penny. The 2006 no mint mark Lincoln penny is proof that treasures can be found in the most unexpected places. Go check your coins. And if you find something interesting, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your discoveries. Before you go, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because we've got plenty more coin hunting tips and tricks coming your way. Trust me, you won't want to miss out. Who knows? The next coin we talk about might be the one that makes you rich. Alright, folks, buckle up because today we're talking about a tiny little coin with a not-so-tiny value. Picture this. You're going through your pocket change, looking for a quarter to feed the parking meter, and bam. You spot a 2020 D Lincoln penny. It's shiny, it's small, and guess what? It could be worth a whopping $1.2 million. That's right, $1 million penny. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, let's dive in and find out how you might just have a gold mine sitting in your piggy bank. So, let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was at a flea market digging through a box of old coins. The guy selling them looked at me like I was crazy when I offered $5 for the whole lot. Turns out, buried in that pile was a rare penny worth hundreds. That was the day I realized coin collecting isn't just a hobby. It's a treasure hunt. And today, we're going on a hunt for the rare and ultra-valuable 2020 D Lincoln penny. Let's break this down. First things first, why is this penny so valuable? It all comes down to mint errors. The 2020 D Lincoln penny in question has a dramatic die error, which means something went wrong during production at the Denver Mint. These kinds of errors can include off-center strikes, double dies, or even misaligned lettering. Collectors go absolutely bonkers for mistakes like these. Why? Because rarity drives up value. The fewer there are, the higher the demand, and the bigger the payday for you. Now, you might be wondering, how do I know if I have the $1 million version? Great question. LA Bull double die on Lincoln's profile, making his face look slightly duplicated, a significant off-center strike that shifts the design noticeably, possible misalignment in the date or mint marker, rare copper planchet mistake where the coin appears slightly thicker or has an unusual weight. If you find one of these, stop whatever you're doing. Put down the laundry, turn off the football game, and get that penny checked out by a professional. There are certified grading services like PCGS or NGC that will authenticate and grade your coin. And trust me, if it turns out to be legit, you'll be laughing all the way to the bank. Now, let's talk market value. The highest recorded sale of this particular 2020 D penny? A staggering $1.2 million. That's right. Somebody cashed in a single cent for the price of a luxury home. And even if yours isn't the top-tier specimen, slightly less dramatic errors have still sold for thousands. It's kind of like winning the lottery, but instead of picking numbers, you're just checking your pocket change. Always check your change. Pennies get passed around all the time, and you never know what might slip through. Roll hunt? Go to the bank, grab a few rolls of pennies, and sift through them like a modern-day prospector. Look for older collections. Estate sales, garage sales, and flea markets can be gold mines for rare coins. Use a magnifier. Some of these errors are tiny, and you don't want to miss them. Here's the deal, folks. The world of coin collecting is full of hidden gems, and the next big find could be in your pocket right now. If this video has taught you anything, it's that small change can mean big money. So, check your coins, stay curious, and most importantly, keep having fun with it. And before you go, if you want more tips on spotting valuable coins, collecting strategies, and the latest discoveries in the world of numismatics, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Who knows? Your next penny could be worth a fortune. Alright, folks, gather around because today, we are diving into a story that will blow your mind. Imagine this. You reach into your pocket, pull out a penny, and bam! It's worth a whopping $1.3 million. Yeah, you heard that right. A single 1994 Lincoln penny with no mint mark is turning heads in the coin collecting world. Wait, hold up. How does a regular OL penny end up being worth more than a mansion? Well, buckle up because we're about to unravel the mystery behind this elusive coin, its jaw-dropping value, and how you might have one just lying around in your change jar. Trust me, by the end of this video, you'll be checking every single penny in sight. And hey, before we get rolling, if you love learning about coins worth serious cash and how to spot them, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I don't want you missing out on any hidden treasures. Let's start with a little history lesson, but don't worry, I promise this won't feel like a boring high school lecture. So, in 1994, the US Mint was cranking out billions of pennies. Most of them had either a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. But a few sneaky ones slipped through the cracks. No mint mark at all. Now, typically, if a penny doesn't have a mint mark, that means it was made in Philadelphia. But here's the kicker. There were known reports of Philadelphia pennies in 1994 missing their mint marks. So, where did these mystery pennies come from? That's the $1 million, or should I say $1.3 million? Question point one theory is that a rogue mint employee, maybe a little tired of the daily grind, decided to shake things up and left off the mint mark on purpose. Another theory? A freak mechanical error. Either way, these pennies are incredibly rare, and collectors are willing to shell out big bucks for them. Now, let me tell you a quick story. A few years back, I was at a flea market, casually looking through some old coin collections. A guy in front of me found a 1994 penny in a random junk box. He asked the seller how much, and the guy shrugged and said, just give me a quarter for it. Fast forward to last year, and that same guy showed up on the news. Turns out, that junk box penny was one of these rare no-mint mark Lincoln pennies, and he sold it at auction for over $1 million. Can you believe that? A single quarter turned into $1 million. I still lose sleep over the fact that I let him go first in line. First, check the date, 1994. That's step 1. Second, flip that penny over and inspect it under good lighting. If there's no D or S underneath the year, you might have something special. But before you start spending that imaginary $1 million, you'll need to get it verified by a professional grading service. Companies like PCGS or NGC can authenticate your penny and confirm if it's the real deal if you find one. Don't go spending it at a vending machine out of habit. This is the kind of coin you want to treat like a newborn baby. Handle it with care, keep it in a protective case, and get it checked out ASAP. Alright, so let's recap. A 1994 Lincoln penny with no mint mark could be worth $1.3 million. These rare coins are mysterious, valuable, and potentially hiding in your loose change right now. Now, I gotta ask, when's the last time you really looked at your pocket change? Because after today, I bet you'll be squinting at every single penny that crosses your path. And hey, if you do find one, don't forget who sent you on this treasure hunt. Alright? A little finder's fee never hurt anyone. If you love this video and want to learn more about coins that could make you rich, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button, smash the like button, and drop a comment below. Have you ever found a rare coin? Hey folks, have you ever gone digging through your spare change and thought, man, I wish one of these pennies could make me a millionaire? Well, today might be your lucky day, because somewhere out there, a 2004 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny is sitting in someone's pocket, worth a mind-blowing $1.40 million. Yeah, you heard that right. A single penny that could buy you a mansion, a luxury car, or at the very least, pay off your grocery bill for the next 30 years. Stick around, because we're diving deep into the story of this rare penny, how it came to be so valuable, and most importantly, how you might just have one hiding in your couch cushions now. Let me tell you a little story. A few years ago, I was at a garage sale, sifting through old junk, looking for anything remotely valuable. I spot this jar of pennies, and my coin collector instincts kick in. So I ask, how much for the whole jar? The guy shrugs and says, give me $5. Sold. I take it home, dump them all on the table, and start sifting through them. My heart nearly jumped out of my chest when I found a 2004 penny with no mint mark. Could this be the one? The golden ticket? Turns out no. But hey, it was still worth checking. So what makes this 2004 no mint mark Lincoln penny so special? Normally, pennies made in Philadelphia have no mint mark, but this particular 2004 penny is different. It was supposed to have one. That little missing mark makes all the difference, turning an ordinary 1-cent coin into a millionaire's dream. Only a few of these pennies have ever been discovered, and collectors are going absolutely bananas over them. The fewer there are, the higher the price. Simple supply and demand. If you're lucky enough to find one, its value depends on its condition. If it looks like it's been run over by a semi-truck, well, it's still valuable, but maybe not worth that full $1.4 million. But if you've got a crisp, uncirculated one, jackpot. You can't just stroll into a coin shop and say, "Hey, I've got the $1 million penny. Hand me the cash." You need to get it verified by a professional grading service. No shady back alley deals. This is serious business. Now, let's talk market value. The highest sale of this coin to date? $1.4 million. That's not monopoly money. That's real, cold, hard cash. Why are people paying so much? Because coin collectors and investors see this as a once-in-a-lifetime rarity. Just like a rare baseball card or a vintage car, people want what they can't have, and they'll pay big money for ITs. Oh, where should you be looking? Check your pocket change, your old piggy bank, and that jar of coins collecting dust on your dresser. And don't forget estate sales, flea markets, and, yes, garage sales. You never know where treasure might be hiding. All right, folks, we've covered a lot today. From why this penny is so valuable, to where you might find one, to what to do if you strike it rich. Now it's your turn. Go check those coins. And if you do find one, be sure to come back and let me know. I want to hear all about it. If you love learning about coins worth money and collecting strategies, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. I've got tons more tips and tricks to help you find hidden gems in your spare change. Who knows? The next big discovery could be sitting in your pocket right now. Thanks for watching and happy hunting. Hey there, coin hunters and treasure seekers. Have you ever checked your pocket change and thought, what if one of these pennies could change my life? Well, today might just be your lucky day because we're talking about a 1967 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny worth a jaw-dropping $1.5 million. Yep, you heard that right. A single penny that could buy you a mansion, a sports car, or enough tacos to last a lifetime. Now, before you start flipping over every penny in sight, stick with me. We're going to break down exactly why this coin is so valuable, how to tell if you have one, and what you should do if you strike gold. Copper. And of course, I'll share a funny little story about how I almost threw away a valuable coin once. I still have nightmares about it.so. Grab your magnifying glass, get comfy, and let's dive into the world of rare pennies worth serious cash. All right, first things first. What makes the 1967 no-mint mark Lincoln penny so special? Let's take a quick history lesson. Back in 1967, the U.S. Mint was going through some, let's say, stressful times. There was a nationwide coin shortage, and to speed up production, the government decided to stop putting mint marks on coins for a few years. That means all pennies from 1967 are missing that little D or S mark that normally tells us which mint made them. But here's the kicker. Most of these pennies were mass-produced. So why is this one worth $1.50 million? It all comes down to a rare error. A small number of these pennies were struck on leftover silver planchets from the previous year. Yes, silver. These special error coins are the holy grail for collectors. And if you have one in pristine condition, congratulations, you're rich. Now, let me tell you about the time I nearly made a $10,000 mistake. A few years ago, I was sorting through an old jar of pennies, just minding my own business, when I came across a strange-looking one. It had this odd shine to it, but I figured, meh, just another old penny. So, I tossed it in a roll and took it to the bank. The next day, I saw a news article about a rare silver penny from the 60s selling for thousands of dollars, and my heart sank faster than my Wi-Fi signal during a storm. To this day, I have no idea if that was a rare coin, but lesson learned. Always check your change. So, how do you know if you have this rare 1967 no mint mark penny? Check the date. Make sure it's 1967 with no mint mark. Look at the color. If it has a silver-like sheen instead of the usual copper, that's a great sign. Weigh it. Regular pennies weigh about 3.11 grams, but the silver error ones come in lighter. Do the magnet test. Silver isn't magnetic, so if your coin sticks to a magnet, it's not the rare one. If you find a penny that checks all these boxes, don't rush to spend it on a candy bar. Get it authenticated by a professional coin grading service. A verified rare 1967 penny in mint condition can fetch over $1 million at auction. Even one with a bit of wear could still bring in 5 or 6 figures. That's a lot of cheeseburgers, my friends. All right, folks, we've uncovered the mystery of the 1967 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny. We've learned why it's rare, how to spot it, and what to do if you find one. Hopefully, the next time you get some change back at the store, you'll give those pennies a second look. Who knows? That little coin sitting in your pocket might just be your ticket to early retirement. If you enjoyed this treasure hunt, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because I've got tons more coin hunting tips coming your way. You don't want to miss the next video. Trust me, I've got some wild stories and even crazier coins to show you. And hey, drop a comment below if you've ever found an interesting or valuable coin. I'd love to hear your stories. Who knows? Maybe your find will be the next big headline in the coin collecting world. Thanks for watching, happy hunting, and remember, every penny counts. Imagine finding a penny that could change your life. I'm talking about a tiny copper beauty, the 2011 D. Lincoln penny, that recently sold for a mind-blowing $1.6 million. Yeah, you heard that right, a single cent turning someone into a millionaire. Now, before you start emptying your piggy banks and flipping over couch cushions, stick with me because today we're diving deep into what makes this penny worth a fortune and how you might just have one hiding in your pocket. Now, let me tell you a quick story. A few years back, I was at a flea market rummaging through an old box of coins. The guy selling them had no idea what he had, and honestly, neither did I at the time. But for a couple of bucks, I walked away with a handful of coins that, after some research, turned out to be worth a small fortune. That experience taught me one thing. Always check your change. You never know what treasure might be lurking in plain sight. All right, let's get to the good stuff. What exactly makes the 2011 D. Lincoln penny so valuable? First, let's talk about the mint mark. The D stands for the Denver Mint, where this particular batch of pennies was produced. Now, most 2011 D pennies are just your standard, everyday 1-cent coins. But every once in a while, a coin is struck with an error so rare that it skyrockets in value. And that's exactly what happened with this $1 million penny. The key to its value: a major minting error. Some of these 2011 D pennies were struck on experimental planchets, blanks made from the wrong metal. Instead of the usual copper-plated zinc, these rare pennies were accidentally struck on an all-copper planchet, just like pre-1982 pennies. That mistake? Worth a fortune. A normal 2011 D penny should weigh 2.5 grams. The rare error version weighs 3.1 grams, just like the old-school copper pennies. The rare version has a richer, darker copper tone than the standard penny. Sound: drop it on a hard surface and listen. A copper penny makes a distinct, solid ringing sound, unlike the dull thud of a regular zinc penny. If you think you've got one, take it to a professional coin grader for authentication. A simple mistake in identifying it could cost you big money. Now, let's talk numbers. The latest auction saw one of these rare 2011 D pennies sell for $1.6 million. That's enough to buy a house, a dream car, and still have enough left to start a pretty sweet coin collection. So, the next time you get a handful of change, don't just toss it into a jar without looking. Check those pennies, weigh them, and keep an eye out for that rare copper beauty. You could be holding $1 million coin and not even know it. And hey, if you love learning about coins worth big money, don't forget to subscribe. I'm always hunting for the next big find, and you don't want to miss out on strategies that could turn your spare change into serious cash. Hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and let me know in the comments if you've ever found a rare coin in your pocket. Who knows? Your next penny might just be worth a fortune. All right, folks, grab your pocket change and get ready for a wild ride. Because today, we're talking about a penny that's worth more than a mansion. That's right, a 1971 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny that recently sold for a jaw-dropping $1.7 million. Can you imagine? One little copper coin sitting in a jar somewhere, and you're over here scrolling through your phone wondering why your coffee costs $5. Now, before you start dumping out every penny from your couch cushions, let me tell you exactly what makes this coin so special, how you can spot one, and why collectors are willing to pay more for it than most people's first homes. Plus, I'll share a funny little story about the time I almost threw away a coin worth serious money. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. First things first, why is this 1971 Lincoln penny so valuable? Most 1971 pennies have a little mint mark under the date, either a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. But every now and then, the US Mint has a little oopsie moment, and a few coins slip through without a mint mark. Normally, this isn't a huge deal. But in the case of this particular penny, it's a whole different story. See, this penny wasn't just missing its mint mark. It was struck with an incredibly rare and valuable error known as a double die obverse. That means if you look closely, you'll see a noticeable doubling effect on the date and the word liberty. This type of error happens when the coin's design is impressed into the die twice at slightly different angles, creating a ghost-like double image. Collectors go absolutely nuts for double die errors, and the 1971 no mint mark Lincoln penny is one of the most sought after. The fact that so few exist in high grades makes them extremely valuable. And in 2023, one of these rare beauties in top-notch condition sold for a whopping $1.7 million at auction. Now, let me tell you about the time I almost made the biggest mistake of my life. A few years back, I was going through some old change and came across an odd-looking penny. I held it up, squinted at it like an old man reading a restaurant menu, and thought, that's weird. But then I shrugged and tossed it into the coin jar. A week later, I was watching an auction online and boom, there it was, a penny just like mine selling for tens of thousands of dollars. My heart nearly jumped out of my chest. I sprinted back to my coin jar, dumped it out like a kid on Halloween night, and started frantically searching. But guess what? It was gone. Either I spent it on a soda or it's still hiding somewhere in the depths of my couch. Moral of the story? Always check your change. So how can you tell if you've got one of these million-dollar pennies? This is key. If there's a D or S under the date, it's not the one. Use a magnifying glass and check for doubling on Liberty and the date. Coins with little to no wear are worth the most. If you think you've found one, get it authenticated by PCGS or NGC.SO. There you have it. A single penny, worth $1.7 million. Makes you look at your loose change a little differently, doesn't it? Now, before you run off to inspect every penny you've ever touched, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I bring you the best tips and strategies for finding valuable coins, and you don't want to miss out on the next big discovery. Who knows? Your next lucky penny could be sitting in your pocket right now. And hey, if you find one of these 1971 no mint mark pennies, don't forget who told you about it. Just kidding, kind of. We're diving into a story so wild. It'll make you dig through your couch cushions like a treasure hunter. You're at a flea market, buying some old baseball cards, and you get a handful of change. You toss it in your pocket, not thinking much of it. But later, as you're dumping it into your coin jar, you spot a 1978 penny with no mint mark. And guess what? That tiny little copper beauty is worth a jaw-dropping $1.60 million. Yeah, you heard me right. A single penny, worth more than a mansion. So, how does an everyday Lincoln cent turn into a millionaire's dream? Buckle up, because we're about to find out. Alright, let's break this down. Most pennies have a little letter under the date, D for Denver, S for San Francisco, and nothing for Philadelphia. But in 1978, something strange happened. A few pennies came out of the mint with an O mint mark, and they weren't supposed to. This wasn't just a regular Philly penny. Oh no, this was a printing error, a rare, once-in-a-blue-moon type of mistake that collectors go nuts for. Well, back in the early 2000s, a collector stumbled upon one of these 1978 no mint mark pennies at an estate sale. He thought, this looks a little off. Turns out, he was holding on to a golden, or rather, copper, ticket. Word spread in the numismatic community, and suddenly, collectors were on the hunt. Flash forward to today, and that rare penny is now valued at $1.6 million. That's more than some Ferraris, and let's be honest, a penny is way easier to park. Okay, now let's get to the fun part, how you can find one of these in the wild. Make sure it's 1978. If it's not, well, you still got a penny, and that's something. Flip it over, check under the date. No D, no S, just a blank space. If it's in pristine condition, you're in business. If it looks like it survived a garbage disposal, well, it might still be worth something, just not millions. Now, let me tell you about a time I almost had my $1 million moment. Almost a couple of years ago, I was at a gas station. The guy at the register gave me change, and I spotted a 1978 penny. My heart skipped a beat. Could it be? No mint mark? I rushed home, grabbed my magnifying glass like Sherlock Holmes, only to find a regular old Philly penny, I won't lie. I sat there, staring at it like it betrayed me. But hey, the thrill of the hunt is half the fun. And now, I check every single penny I come across, because you never know when you'll strike gold or copper. So, what if you actually find one of these legendary coins? Don't spend it seriously. Don't hand it to the vending machine for a bag of chips. Get it authenticated. Take it to a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. These folks will confirm if it's the real deal. Auction it off. Rare coins like these sell at high-end auctions, where collectors bid like they're in a movie montage. Retire early. Okay, maybe not immediately, but hey, $1.6 million can change your life. So there you have it, folks. The incredible story of the 1978 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny worth more than a Lamborghini. It's proof that even the smallest things can hold big value. Now, I've got a challenge for you. Go check your pockets, your piggy banks, your grandma's old coin jar. Who knows? You might just be sitting on a fortune and not even know it. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about hidden treasures in your spare change, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got plenty more tips and tricks coming your way. And remember, every penny counts. All right, folks, imagine this. You're digging through your old coin jar, looking for some spare change to grab a coffee. When bam, you stumble upon a little copper penny that looks just like any other. But guess what? That tiny coin could be worth a staggering $1.7 million. Yes, you heard that right. Today, we're talking about the ultra-rare, jaw-dropping, retirement funding 1982 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny. Now, before you start flipping over every penny in sight, let me take you on a journey through the world of coin collecting, the secrets behind this rare penny, and how you might just strike gold. Or in this case, copper. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll be rating your couch cushions and checking under your car seats like a treasure hunter on a mission. Let's start with the basics. In 1982, the US Mint was in the middle of making a major change. Up until then, pennies were mostly made of copper, but due to rising metal costs, they decided to switch to a copper-plated zinc composition. That meant there were two types of pennies produced that year, copper and zinc. But here's where things get interesting. There were also 7 different varieties of pennies minted that year, and one of them, the holy grail of modern pennies, was the 1982 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny.so. What exactly makes this little guy so special? Well, the key here is the missing mint mark. Normally, pennies minted in Philadelphia in 1982 had no mint mark, and that was standard. But this particular 1982 penny has a unique die error that sets it apart. This error, combined with the fact that very few were ever released into circulation, makes it incredibly valuable. Now, let me tell you a little story. A few years ago, I was at a flea market, digging through a box of old coins, when I overheard an older gentleman talking about his friend who cashed in a rare penny for 6 figures. Naturally, my ears perked up. I mean, who wouldn't want to turn a penny into a fortune? So I asked him for the details, and he told me about this exact coin, the 1982 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny. Ever since then, I've been on a mission, checking every penny I come across like a detective on a case. And let me tell you, it's become a bit of an obsession. Now, onto the juicy part. How much is this bad boy worth today? Hold on to your hats, because as of now, the highest recorded sale of a 1982 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is a whopping $1.7 million. That's right, a single penny that's worth more than a mansion, a luxury sports car, and a dream vacation combined. The reason behind this sky-high value? Rarity, condition, and collector demand. Serious coin collectors are willing to pay a premium for the best preserved specimens, and that's exactly what makes this coin a golden, or should I say, copper, opportunity.so. How do you know if you have one of these life-changing pennies? First, grab a scale. If your 1982 penny weighs 3.11 grams, you might just be in luck because that means it's the copper version. Next, check for any signs of a missing mint mark. If there's no little letter under the date, you're onto something big. And lastly, condition matters. The better shape your penny is in, the more valuable it could be. All right, my fellow treasure hunters, now you know the story of the legendary 1982 no mint mark Lincoln penny, the tiny copper coin that could make you a millionaire. Before you run off to raid your penny jars and check your piggy banks, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications because I've got plenty more coin collecting secrets and money-making tips coming your way. And hey, if you do happen to find one of these rare pennies, let me know in the comments. I promise I won't be too jealous. Keep hunting, keep collecting, and who knows? Your next coffee run could turn into $1 million payday. Have you ever casually checked your spare change, hoping to stumble upon a hidden fortune? Well, today, we're talking about a little penny that packs a big punch, the 1952 wheat penny. And guess what? One of these just sold for a jaw-dropping $1.7 million. That's right, a single, humble 1-cent coin is worth more than a mansion, a fleet of luxury cars, or an unlimited lifetime supply of coffee. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what makes this coin so valuable and how to check if you have one hiding in your collection, or even in your pocket right now. Let me tell you a quick story. A few years back, I was going through an old jar of pennies that had been collecting dust in my grandmother's attic. I wasn't expecting much, just some pocket change and maybe a couple of wheat pennies for my collection. But as I sifted through the pile, I came across a 1952 penny. My heart skipped a beat. Could it be the one? I mean, I was already daydreaming about my future yacht, complete with a coin-themed pool float. Turns out it was just a regular old 1952 but it still got me hooked on searching for these hidden treasures. So, what makes the 1952 wheat penny worth so much money? Let's break it down. The S means it was minted in San Francisco, which already makes it a bit more collectible than the Philadelphia minted versions. San Francisco didn't produce as many pennies that year, which means fewer were put into circulation, making them slightly rarer. The real money comes from rare era versions. Some of these pennies have double dies, repunched mint marks, or off-center strikes. If you have a 1952 with a visible doubling effect on Lincoln's profile or the lettering, you might just have hit the jackpot. There's also a rumor about a 1952 over 1951 mint mark, which is extremely rare and could be one of the reasons a penny reached that insane $1.7 million price tag. Now, you can't just pluck any 1952 penny from a change jar and expect to retire overnight. Condition is everything. Coins that are graded MS 67 or higher are the ones pulling in those massive auction prices. That means little to no scratches, a beautiful luster, and barely any signs of circulation. The coin collecting world is booming. As more collectors enter the market, demand for rare, high-quality coins is skyrocketing. And when demand goes up, so do prices. Plus, let's be honest, who wouldn't want to say, yeah, I made my millions from a penny at a dinner party? So, how do you find out if you have $1 million 1952 wheat penny? First, grab a magnifying glass. You're looking for minting errors like doubling, repunched marks, or misalignment. Next, check the condition. If your coin looks like it just rolled off the minting press, you might want to get it professionally graded. And finally, research recent auction results. Even if yours isn't the holy grail of pennies, some still fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars. All right, my fellow treasure hunters, we've gone through the history, the mint mark, the errors, the condition, and the crazy prices of the 1952 wheat penny. So, the next time you get a handful of change, don't just shove it in a drawer. Give it a good look. Your next trip to the gas station could turn into the biggest payday of your life. And if you love learning about coins that are worth serious money, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We've got plenty more tips, tricks, and hidden coin treasures coming your way. Who knows? Your next great discovery might just be in your pocket right now. Hey there, fellow coin enthusiasts and treasure hunters. Have you ever dreamed of finding a life-changing coin in your pocket change? What if I told you that a plain-looking penny from 1978 could be worth a mind-blowing $1.8 million? Yes, you heard that right. $1.8 million for a single penny. You could buy a mansion, a sports car, or just swim in a pool of pennies like Scrooge McDuck. Now, before you start dumping out your piggy bank all over the floor, let's break this down. What makes this 1978 no-mint mark Lincoln penny so valuable? How can you tell if you have one? And most importantly, where can you cash in if you strike gold, air, copper? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for and how to turn your penny hunting hobby into cold, hard cash. The mystery behind the 1978 no-mint mark penny. Let's rewind to 1978. Gas was 63 cents a gallon, disco was king, and the U.S. Mint was cranking out Lincoln pennies by the billions. Most were stamped with a little D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. But somewhere, somehow, a tiny batch of pennies slipped through the cracks, completely missing a mint mark. These weren't just any pennies. They were struck on special planchets with a high-quality finish, making them stand out from your average penny. Now, you might be wondering, how did this even happen? Well, let's just say mistakes happen everywhere, even at the U.S. Mint. Maybe someone had a rough Monday morning and forgot to punch in the mint mark. Or maybe, just maybe, these pennies were meant to be secret million-dollar Easter eggs for future collectors like you. Why would someone pay a fortune for a tiny copper coin? It all comes down to rarity, demand, and condition. The 1978 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is incredibly scarce, with only a handful known to exist. It's like finding a four-leaf clover in a field of three-leaf ones. Except, in this case, that clover could buy you a Ferrari. A few years ago, one of these rare pennies was graded as nearly flawless, a mint state 67 plus red. For those of you who speak collector lingo, when it hit the auction block, collectors went absolutely nuts. The final bid? A jaw-dropping $1.80 million. Now, let me tell you a little story. A few years back, I was rummaging through some old coin rolls from the bank. My wife thought I was crazy, sitting there for hours, hunched over with a magnifying glass. I felt like a modern-day pirate searching for buried treasure, minus the eye patch. Then, I saw it. A penny that looked different. My heart started racing. Could it be? I held it up to the light, checked the date. No mint mark. I thought I had just hit the jackpot. I ran to my wife, nearly knocking over the dog in the process. I was already picturing my beachside villa. Well, turns out, I had misread the date. It was a 1979, not a 1978. The disappointment was real, my friends. But hey, that's part of the adventure. And it just goes to show, you never know what you might find if you keep looking. All right, so how can you find one of these legendary 1978 no-mint mark pennies? Make sure it says 1978, not 1977 or 1979. Trust me, you don't want to experience my heartbreak. Or rather, the lack of one. If there's a tiny D or S under the date, sorry to break it to you, that's not the one. If you think you've got a winner, don't clean it. Cleaning a rare coin is like washing a signed baseball card. It destroys the value. If your coin looks promising, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll tell you if you've struck it rich. If you do happen to find one, first of all, congrats. You've just won the collector's lottery. Your next step? Auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers are your best bet for getting top dollar. Online marketplaces like eBay are another option, but you'll want to be careful with scammers. So there you have it, folks. The 1978 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, an unassuming little coin that could change your life overnight. Who knew that something you might casually toss in a tip jar could be worth a fortune? Now, if this video has inspired you to start digging through your coin jar, do me a favor. Hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you never miss another money-making coin tip. And if you've ever found a rare coin yourself, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your stories. Remember, treasure is hiding in plain sight. You just have to know where to look. All right, folks, gather around because today, we are talking about a tiny little copper coin that could make you a millionaire. That's right. A single 1968 Lincoln penny with no mint mark has sold for a staggering $1.90 million. You heard that correctly. A little 1-cent coin that most people wouldn't think twice about could change your life. So, before you toss that spare change in the tip jar, you might want to check your pockets. Today, we're diving deep into why this penny is worth a fortune, how to spot one, and what makes it so valuable. Plus, I'll share a personal coin hunting experience that'll have you laughing and maybe even running to your coin jar. Let's get into it. All right, let's start with the basics. The 1968 Lincoln penny was minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Now, coins from Denver and San Francisco have a little D or S below the date, but the ones from Philadelphia? No mint mark. That's normal. But here's where things get crazy. There's a super rare version of the 1968 penny that was supposed to have a mint mark but doesn't. And that's what collectors are going absolutely bonkers over. So, how did this happen? Well, back in the day, mint workers were supposed to punch a little S or D onto the dies before striking the coins. But every now and then, someone in the mint had a rough morning. Maybe they were up too late watching reruns. Maybe they didn't have their coffee, who knows? And they forgot. That mistake led to a handful of 1968 pennies being struck without a mint mark when they should have had one. And because so few of these error coins exist, collectors are willing to pay insane money for them. Now, you might be wondering, how do you know if you've got the penny? Well, first off, grab any 1968 penny you find and check under the date. If there's no mint mark, don't panic. Most of them are normal Philadelphia pennies. But if you suspect you've got the rare error coin, you'll want to look at a few key details. The real deal will have crisp details, a strong strike, and match the weight and diameter of a regular Lincoln cent. And if you think you've got a winner, send it off to get professionally graded because that's how you confirm its authenticity. Now, let's talk value. This bad boy has sold at auction for $1.90 million. That's not pocket change. That's retire on a beach money. Even lower graded versions of this coin can fetch thousands, so it's definitely worth checking every single 1968 penny you come across. Speaking of checking coins, let me tell you a quick story. A few years back, I was helping my grandpa clean out his old junk drawer. You know, the one where everything from rubber bands to old screws and mystery keys end up. Well, we stumbled upon a little jar of pennies, and he says, just toss them in the coin star. But being the coin nerd that I am, I decided to go through them. And guess what? I found a 1943 steel penny in near mint condition. Not quite a millionaire moment, but it did sell for a few $100. And let me tell you, Grandpa went from just toss 'em to let's check every penny real quick. So, moral of the story? Always check your change, because you never know when you might be holding a fortune. All right, my fellow treasure hunters, there you have it. The story of the 1968 no mint mark Lincoln penny that could make you rich. If you've got old jars of coins lying around, now's the time to go through them. And if you ever come across a 1968 penny without a mint mark, don't just spend it on a cup of coffee, get it checked out. If you found this video helpful or even just mildly entertaining, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more coin collecting tips, tricks, and hidden treasures. Who knows? The next video might help you discover another rare coin worth a fortune. All right, folks, buckle up because today we're diving into one of the most mind-blowing discoveries in modern coin collecting, the 2004 no mint mark Lincoln penny. Now, you might be thinking, a 2004 penny? What's so special about that? Well, let me tell you. This tiny little copper beauty is worth up to $2 million. Yeah, you heard that right. $2 million. Bucks. So, if you've got some spare change lying around, you might just want to start digging through that coin jar like a kid on Christmas morning. Because today, we're breaking down exactly why this coin is worth a fortune, how to tell if you have one, and what makes it so insanely valuable in the world of coin collecting. Oh, and of course, I've got a funny little story about my own penny hunting adventures that you won't want to miss. Let's start with the basics. What exactly is the 2004 no mint mark Lincoln penny? And why is it causing such a stir in the numismatic world? First off, when we talk about no mint mark, we mean this penny was struck without the little letter that tells you where it was made. Usually, pennies have a small D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. But this one? Nada. Just good old Abraham Lincoln looking as presidential as ever, without any clue that he's sitting on a coin worth more than most people's houses. So, why is this penny so valuable? Well, it all comes down to an extremely rare minting error that makes this coin practically one of a kind. Experts believe that during production, a small batch of these pennies was struck without the necessary mint mark, making them exceptionally rare. Rarity drives up demand, and demand, well, that drives up the price. Now, let's talk money. If you happen to find one of these bad boys in pristine, uncirculated condition, you're looking at a potential payday of around $2 million. Even in slightly worn condition, these pennies can still be worth thousands. That's right. Your pocket change could be more valuable than your car, your house, or even your retirement fund. Speaking of pocket change, let me tell you about the time I nearly threw away a coin worth a small fortune. A few years ago, I was cleaning out my car. You know, one of those rare occasions where you finally decide to tackle the mess of fast food receipts, crumpled napkins, and enough loose change to make a cash register jealous. I was about to dump a handful of pennies into a tip jar when something caught my eye. A weird-looking penny. It just looked different, shinier, almost too perfect. Curiosity got the best of me, and instead of tipping my barista an accidental jackpot, I took it home and did some research. Turns out, it wasn't a $1 million coin, but it was a valuable error penny worth a few $100. Moral of the story? Check your change before you chuck it. Now, how can you tell if you have one of these legendary 2004 no mint Mark Lincoln pennies? Here's what you need to look for. This is the big one. If your 2004 penny doesn't have a D or S under the date, you might be onto something. Since these coins were made under unusual circumstances, the details on Lincoln's face and the lettering are often crisp and clear. Error penny should weigh around 2.5 grams. If yours is significantly lighter or heavier, it might be a counterfeit. If you think you have one, get that baby professionally graded. A verified high-quality specimen is what gets you that seven-figure payday. So, what's the lesson here? Always check your change. That little penny sitting at the bottom of your couch cushion could be worth more than a luxury car. Who knew that something so small and seemingly insignificant could turn into a life-changing discovery? And hey, if you found this video helpful, or at least entertaining, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got tons more tips, tricks, and hidden treasure stories coming your way, and trust me, you don't want to miss them. Leave a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin, and let's keep this treasure hunting community going strong. Alright, folks, imagine this. You're digging through your couch cushions, looking for loose change, maybe a quarter for the vending machine. Instead, you pull out an old, dull penny. No big deal, right? Wrong. That tiny copper coin could be worth a staggering $2.1 million. That's right, today, we're talking about one of the rarest and most valuable pennies out there, the 1986 no mint Mark Lincoln penny. So grab your coin jars and stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for. And who knows, you might just be sitting on a fortune. Now, let's start with the basics. In 1986, the U.S. Mint produced millions of pennies across 3 different mint locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Normally, coins struck at the Philadelphia Mint have no mint mark, which is totally normal. But here's where things get interesting. This particular penny isn't just missing a mint mark. It's got a rare and mysterious error that makes it worth serious cash. So what's so special about this penny? It all comes down to an error in the die-making process. See, the U.S. Mint uses dies to stamp the designs onto coins. Occasionally, a die will be created without a mint mark when it should have one. These errors are rare, but when they happen, they create some of the most valuable coins in existence. And the 1986 no mint Mark Lincoln penny? It's the king of them all now. Let me tell you a little story. A few years ago, I was at a garage sale, just browsing through a box of old coins. The seller clearly had no idea what they had, and I spotted a 1986 penny sitting right on top. I picked it up, flipped it over, and my heart skipped a beat. No mint mark. I thought, could this be the penny? Spoiler alert, it wasn't. But for a few glorious moments, I was already planning my trip to a tropical island. Moral of the story? Always check your change. Now, let's talk value. How did this coin hit a jaw-dropping $2.1 million? Well, like any collector's item, it's all about rarity and demand. This particular penny is nearly impossible to find in high-grade condition. The few that have surfaced have sent collectors into a bidding frenzy. At a recent auction, one of these rare beauties sold for an unbelievable $2.1 million. That's enough to buy a mansion, a luxury car, and still have plenty left over for a lifetime supply of tacos. So, how do you know if you have one of these golden, well, copper tickets? First, check the date. It must be 1986. Second, look for a mint mark under the date. If there's a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco, sorry, you're out of luck. But if there's nothing there, hold on tight. The next step is getting it authenticated by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. And if it turns out to be the real deal, congratulations, you just hit the jackpot. So, there you have it, folks. That old penny in your pocket? It might just be worth millions. And the best part? Rare coins like this are still out there, hiding in plain sight, waiting to be discovered. If this video has you running to check your coin jar, mission accomplished. If you enjoyed this deep dive into rare and valuable coins, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I post videos just like this one to help you uncover hidden treasures in your spare change. And hey, if you've ever found a valuable coin, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your story. Thanks for watching, happy hunting, and may your pennies always be profitable. Hey there, fellow treasure hunters. Imagine this. You're digging through your couch cushions, looking for spare change, and bam. You find a 2008 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. You think, just another penny. But hold on to your coin purses, because that little copper beauty might just be worth a whopping $2.2 million. Yep, you heard me right. A single penny that could buy you a mansion, a dream vacation, or enough coffee to stay awake for a decade. Now, I know what you're thinking. Come on, a penny worth millions? That sounds like something my grandma would fall for on the internet. But stick with me, because I'm about to break down exactly why this coin is so valuable, what makes it special, and how you can check if you've got one hiding in your pocket change. First things first, what's the deal with this penny? In 2008, the U.S. Mint was cranking out Lincoln pennies at multiple locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Normally, coins from Philly don't have a mint mark, and that's totally fine. But this particular 2008 penny isn't just missing a mint mark. It has some serious manufacturing oddities that make it a 1 in a million, or rather, 1 in a multi-million-dollar, coin. Here's where things get spicy. This penny has an unusual doubling effect on Lincoln's face and parts of the lettering. It's what experts call a double die error, where the coin's design was struck twice by mistake, creating a shadowy, almost ghost-like effect. But wait, there's more. Some versions of this penny also have an off-metal composition, meaning they weren't made with the usual copper-plated zinc, but instead struck on a different planchet by accident. These rare errors are what make collectors go wild and drive the price through the roof. So, where did the big money come from? Well, in 2024, a collector who had been obsessively searching for rare pennies found this holy grail of coins and put it up for auction. After a heated bidding war, imagine a room full of grown adults sweating over a tiny piece of metal. The hammer finally dropped at a jaw-dropping $2.2 million. And just like that, a lucky penny turned into a life-changing fortune. Now, I know you're already eyeballing your change jar like a dragon hoarding treasure, and I don't blame you. Here's how you can check if you have a 2008 no mint mark Lincoln penny worth millions. Look for doubling. Use a magnifying glass and inspect Lincoln's face, the date, and the words "In God We Trust." If they look shadowy or doubled, you might have a winner. Check the composition. If you suspect something unusual, weigh your penny. Standard 2008 pennies should weigh about 2.5 grams. If yours is different, it might be an off-metal strike. Get it authenticated. Before you start planning your new millionaire lifestyle, have a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC verify your find. They'll confirm if it's the real deal. Now, I gotta tell you, this whole thing reminds me of a time I thought I had struck it rich. A few years ago, I found an old coin in my grandpa's attic. It looked ancient, had all kinds of wear, and I just knew it was rare. I rushed to get it appraised, dreaming about quitting my job and buying a yacht. Turns out, It was a souvenir token from a tourist trap. Yep, my dreams of early retirement? Gone in a puff of disappointment. But hey, that's the thrill of the hunt. You never know when you're going to hit the jackpot. So, there you have it, the incredible story of the 2008 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny worth $2.2 million. If you take one thing away from this, let it be this. Never underestimate the power of pocket change. Who knows? The next time you get a handful of pennies from the store, you might just be holding your ticket to financial freedom. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of rare coins, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got plenty more tips, tricks, and crazy coin stories coming your way. And hey, if you find $1 million penny, don't forget who told you about it first. Maybe send me a postcard from your private island. Alright, folks, imagine this. You're digging through your couch cushions looking for spare change, and boom, you find a penny. No big deal, right? But what if I told you that one little penny could be worth $2.3 million? Yeah, you heard me right. Today, we're talking about the 2001 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, an ordinary-looking coin that's actually worth a small fortune. Stick around, because I'll break down exactly why this penny is so valuable, how you can spot one, and what to do if you hit the jackpot. And trust me, you're gonna want to hear my personal story on how I almost tossed away a rare penny. Big mistake. Let's get into it. Now, before you go raiding your piggy banks and flipping over every penny you see, let's talk about why this 2001 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is such a big deal. Normally, pennies have a little letter on them, D for Denver, S for San Francisco, or P for Philadelphia. But this one, nothing. Zip. Zero. Not a d. So why does that make it special? Well, back in 2001, the US Mint was churning out pennies like a fast food drive-thru, but a tiny batch of them missed the mint mark. It was a minting error, and while most mistakes get caught, a few of these bad boys slipped into circulation. Fast forward a couple of decades, and collectors are going absolutely nuts over these coins. It's rare, it's weird, and it's worth a truckload of cash. One of these pennies, in pristine condition, recently sold for $2.3 million at an auction. That's right, 1 cent turned into over $2 million. If only all investments had that kind of return. Now, let me hit you with a quick reality check. Not every 2001 penny without a mint mark is gonna make you a millionaire. Condition is everything. The ones pulling in the big bucks are in mint state, meaning they look like they just rolled off the press. If it's scratched, worn down, or looking like it survived a zombie apocalypse, it's probably not fetching millions. But hey, it could still be worth a few $100. And that brings me to my personal story. A few years ago, I was at a gas station, paid for my coffee, and got some change back. I noticed a weird-looking penny, no mint mark, looked kind of fresh. But I was in a rush, so I tossed it in my car's cup holder. A few days later, I cleaned out my car, saw the penny again, and thought, whatever. You know where this is going, right? I spent it. Fast forward to today. I learned about the 2001 no-mint mark penny's insane value, and I nearly flipped my desk over. So how do you spot a valuable one? First, grab a magnifying glass. Yeah, it's time to go full detective mode. Check the date, 2001. Check the mint mark. There shouldn't be one. Then, look at the condition. If it's got that fresh off the mint shine, you might have something special. And if you think you found one, get it graded by a professional coin grading service. Don't just list it on eBay and hope for the best. Alright, so what did we learn today? One penny, one tiny, overlooked, everyday coin, could be worth millions. That's why checking your change isn't just for fun. It could be life-changing. And trust me, you don't want to be the person who unknowingly spends a fortune on a pack of GUM. So here's what you need to do next. If you're even remotely interested in coins worth big money, hit that subscribe button. I'm always digging up new coin collecting strategies, rare finds, and tips to help you turn pocket change into serious cash. Plus, you don't want to miss my next video where I'll reveal another rare coin that could be hiding in plain sight.